back 40-point games for just the fourth time in that tenure under Coach Hood, the first time they've done it since the 2018 season. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at that latest win for Franklin Simpson, how the first couple of games have gone so far. We'll also tell you more about this ACS team. We'll also chat with Coach Cheney and get his thoughts about facing someone who is pretty close to him in Coach Hood. All that and more on the way as our pregame show rolls on right here on 92.3 WFKN.
You want what I got, you can. Cause I'm up at the top, call me Godzilla. Since when I hold me, I am the thriller.
All right, for now we're good on our schedule.
How many are correct, too?
Time to shine, yeah! Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now. Everybody talk. I just get it done. 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 Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now. Running off in your can. Whole squad on the man. Sparks fly, let them rain. We ain't even on the fence. Running. Whole crew, we ain't we gunning. Bang, bang, like shine, we sunning. I told them it's all
Back with you here at Franklin Simpson High School as we roll on with our pregame show ahead of tonight's matchup between your Franklin Simpson Wildcats and the Allen County Scottsville Patriots. Tyler Eaton joined by Tyler Arterburn up here in the press box. These two teams last year duked it out. 31-21 was the score for Franklin Simpson at Allen County Scottsville. Just the second win that now fifth-year head coach Max Cheney has been able to pick up over the Fighting Hoodsters since he became the head coach at Franklin Simpson. Coach Hood 4-2 in the matchups since Coach Cheney took over. And in fact, Tyler, as you know, ACS knocked Franklin Simpson out of the playoffs the first 2 years of Coach Cheney being the head man. So I know that as close as those two are, you've told this story before, and I'll let you tell it again about just how far back their relationship goes. It's still a lot of competition when these two teams get out there on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Hood and Coach Cheney both went to Campbellsville University. That's where I went to. You got to throw the plug in for the Tigers. But Coach Cheney, well before they're way older than I am.
Well, you didn't have to throw that part in.
Well, they'll be all right with it. But they were actually up in Campbellsville University. They were roommates, and they were on the football team for Coach Finley and the Fighting Tigers football team back in the 90s at some point during the night. But yeah, their knowledge of each other goes way back before they were coaching, and it's kind of interesting that they both became rivals after they were such good friends.
Taking a look at a game that you got to see in person last week. Big thank you to Aaron Tatley filling in on the play-by-play for that one. Franklin Simpson broke loose, as we mentioned in the last segment, 570 yards of offense on the way to a 49-22 win over Warren Central. Their 461 yards on the ground were the most for a Franklin Simpson team since October of 2021 against Warren East. Blake McPherson, boy, he went to work. 246 yards and 2 touchdowns, and it only took him 11 carries. Colin Anderson, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. He only ran it 7 times and also caught a 70-yard touchdown, so he almost had 200 total yards on the day as well. Just looking at the rushing, it's the first time since 2022, conveniently enough, against Allen County Scottsville, when it was Blake McPherson and Gavin Dickerson, that Franklin Simpson have had 200 or more yard rushers in the same game. Coach Cheney we'll talk about it more in our interview with Coach Cheney later on in the pregame show, about wanting to see some more big plays from this offense. From your perspective, Tyler, what went right against Warren Central that maybe we didn't see offensively for Franklin Simpson in the opener against Davis County?
Well, one thing that I'll talk is the character that these guys had. They were back against the wall, and they needed to make a big play, and they made a big play in the passing game. It was out more. You talked at the Davis County game, how they were, I don't know how many incompletions to start that game.
14 between the two teams, but 7 for Brady.
That wasn't the case. Brady was, finding guys. I don't think they threw as much against Warren Central. They wanted to time those up, but whenever they were able to throw the ball out there, they were able to make the plays. Colin Anderson was able to make the catches. Jason Groves had a great touchdown catch as well. The passing game opened up a little bit more against Warren Central, and that's good to see whenever they're shutting down that run.
Aiden Jones had a really good game on the ground, filling in for Lane Alford, who will be back tonight for Franklin Simpson. Coach said he's pretty much back to 100%, or at least right now what is 100% for Lane. But a great game for Aiden. 10 carries, 59 yards on the ground. We see a great game from Kason Hemshoot, who got some run on both sides of the football. He ran it 7 times for 41 yards, had a couple of sacks on the defensive side of the ball as well. And not a knock here against Warren Central, but Tyler, in a game that you know you're going to take care of business, not the worst thing in the world for an Aiden, for a Kason, to get some more run out there and get some confidence under their belt, because at any point, at any time, they could be called upon to have to carry a bigger load like they did against Central.
Yeah, that's one of the things I asked Coach Cheney in the post-game interview was, what does it mean for these young guys and how they stepped up? What does that mean later on down the season? And when we're playing a team like Park County or Adair County for the district championship, or if we're in the playoffs playing another team like Union County or somebody like that, and Lane Alford's going both ways and he needs a break, well, you have a little bit of confidence in Aiden Jones to go in and run the football. You got a little confidence in Kason Hemshoot on defense to play a little linebacker. So, that was a good game to build confidence in those young guys, and they can always be ready to go in at any time.
One thing I'll ask you about it's me really nitpicking with that Warren Central game, especially when you look back at Franklin Simpson last year. They gave up at least 150 passing yards 7 times, 208 given up through the air against Warren Central. Was there anything there that stood out to you that worries you, especially heading into this game against an ACS team that threw for 270 yards against Franklin Simpson last year?
Well, Warren Central, their quarterback was very methodical. He didn't just throw the football away. He was very calculated in his throws, not trying to throw deep. He's throwing to the open guy, and he's able to nickel and dime it down the whole field. And I think Franklin Simpson just stood to their game plan. Let's not get beat deep. Let's keep everything underneath. And they were able to hold the score down, I think to 22. And that doesn't tell the whole story of the game. Their defense played pretty well, even though the stats show that they gave up more passing yards than they usually do. They just didn't want to break. They were willing to bend but not break.
They're going to get tested tonight against an ACS team that has had their way offensively so far this season, but the Wildcats present the best defense they've faced up to this point. We'll look at this Patriots team, tell you how they've been able to rack up the score, 40-plus points in both games this year. Our pregame show rolls on right after this on 92.3 WFKN. Back with you here at Franklin Simpson High School. Got about 16 and a half minutes left before kickoff. For now, the rain holding off. We'll see how long that holds. I've seen a couple of umbrellas popped up, at least in anticipation. Still plenty of spots if you want to make your way out here. Nobody's going to say anything if you roll in a couple minutes late because you're worried about the rain, just like I tend to be at times. Tyler Eaton, Tyler Arterburn with you here at FS as we take a closer look at this Allen County Scottsville team, Tyler, that went 5-6 last year. First time that the Patriots have had back-to-back losing seasons since the 2013 and 2014 seasons, but it's clear that they have taken a step forward this season. We talked about how much they've been scoring. They're averaging nearly 11 yards per play, and that does not even account for the 3 punt return touchdowns that they had in their opening game against Marion County, a game that was played at Greenwood High. We didn't really see the full scope of their offense because of all that special teams work, and then they come out against Monroe County on the road, throw for almost 200 yards, run for 232 more. They put up points in multiple ways. They've got weapons everywhere, and it all starts in my mind, in your mind, I think in everyone's mind, Tyler, with that senior quarterback, Braylon Adams.
Yeah, Braylon Adams. He wears number 0, which you don't see that very often for a quarterback. I don't know if I've ever seen that. He was number 12 last year for them, a senior. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds against Marion County. He only completed 1 pass, but ran for 9 times for 105 yards. The very first run that he had for the game, he took it in for the end for a touchdown. Against Monroe County, as you said, he threw over 200 yards. It's 13 of 24 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He ran 8 times for just 33 yards. But he will throw the ball up and have some interceptions. He said himself, he posted some of his highlights on X, which used to be Twitter, for those that know what I'm talking about. He posted his highlights and he had the caption said, "I don't really like to be hit." And he was showing that as a play that he was trying to scramble around. And whenever you're able to get pressure, he throws that ball up. He had an interception he only had 1 pass completed, but he also had an interception against Marion County. He also had an interception against Monroe County. And what the stats will tell you as well, on a 2-point conversion, he had an interception as well for short yardage. He can absolutely launch the football. He can throw over 50 yards with ease. Sometimes whenever he sees that pressure, he likes to throw that up. There were many times against Monroe County and Marion County where the offensive line for the Patriots had broke down. He was able to make some plays with his legs. He was able to run the football, but then again, yes, he likes to throw it up. He has the ability to find the open guy, he's got a lot of colleges looking at him. If there's any player on this Patriots team right now that has been in talks with a lot of colleges to get offers, it's him. He also, for a quarterback, he benches 250 pounds and squats 345, so that's impressive as well.
When you see that strength, not just in the arm strength, but the way that he runs the football, as you mentioned, he's a dual threat, over 100 yards on the ground this year and a couple of touchdowns. And that's what they did in the opening game. Only threw for 5 yards, as you talked about, 195 against Monroe County, 5 through the air against Marion County. He got it done with his legs, and really you can sum up the Adams experience with what he did against Franklin Simpson last season, a game where Franklin Simpson forced 6 turnovers. Forced is a loose word. They were gifted a couple of those. 6 turnovers in the first half alone of that game. Adams throws 3 interceptions, but finishes the game 14 for 26, 272 yards. A lot of that deep downfield passes, and scrapped and clawed his Patriots back into that ball game. And I'll tell you, Tyler, they've got another dangerous downfield weapon in Deontay Granger. He had 3 catches for 73 yards against Monroe County. Had 2 of those 3 punt return touchdowns in the opener against Marion. And then Chase Ross in the backfield is used kind of as a modern combo back. He's got 176 yards on the ground, 15 yards per attempt. They don't run him too much, but he's also got 4 catches for 43 yards. And you guessed it, a punt return touchdown as well. They've got weapons all over the field offensively. Defensively, it's really easier to key in on who their main guy is. Jackson Morris is the heart and soul of that Patriots defense.
Absolutely. Jackson Morris, he's a linebacker for the Patriots against Marion County. He had 11 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. He didn't play a lot in the second half as Marion County was getting down, and the Patriots were able to run on the score a little bit, so they took him out early. Didn't look like he was hurt. And then he came back against Monroe County with 12 tackles and a sack. He led the team in tackles in both games. He's got 23 on the year total. As a junior, he was second on the team with 73 tackles. He's a disruptor. He loves the blitz. He loves tackling, loves to make contact. One of his weaknesses, though, it looks like he does not like running through a blocker. So if a guy is able to get on him and get engaged, it doesn't look like he's able to get off. So these guards getting to the second level for the Wildcats need to make sure they see number 8. He's aggressive. Sometimes it's through his own fault, but he'll try to blitz or he'll try to bite on fakes to where he takes himself out of the play. So look for Franklin Simpson to use a lot of play action fakes, and which Franklin Simpson does on almost every play.
Yep.
But you got to see if he's patient and he's able to stay there. And he played a lot more patient against Monroe County than he did against Marion County, and he was able to get in positions, but still didn't want to fight through contact. Also, he does play offense as a tight end, so sometimes he will get worn out going both ways. But he is a stud at linebacker when he's playing to his best ability.
You heard it from Tyler Arterburn. The impact players to watch tonight, that dual threat senior quarterback Brendan Adams, and on the defensive side, Jackson Morris, the do-it-all linebacker that's already got 23 tackles this season, a couple tackles for loss, and a sack to go along with that. We'll chat with Coach Chaney about this big matchup with a foe and a coach on the other side that he's very familiar with, and then we'll roll right into kickoff here from Franklin Simpson High School. It's FS, it's ACS, and you're listening to it all right here on 92.3 WFKN.
At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to please rise. The officials for tonight's game, referee Adam Clark, umpire Joseph Perry, linesman Greg Newsom, line judge Brian Maxson, back judge Justin Bardo, field judge Arlen Mink, side judge Garland Gilliam.
We're there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're good. I've got it turned down so we don't hear ourselves.
Okay. Oh, we don't usually use them.
If you want them.
I don't know the guy's names. Not a lot of hot there. He's somebody from here. He may live here.
I think they're all great.
No,
No, but I think they're great.
I don't know which one. He can be Hunt. He usually does good. There are a lot of Hunt heads. It's a pretty good crew, but
That's what she missed not watching the game last night, was they're emphasizing. I don't know if you saw the clips.
I saw it
the
up in the
distance from the line. Yeah.
and but and it looked like one line was
I just like watching him jump before every time. I mean, it's almost an art. We should get it back around the minute, just inside of it. We make some good homecoming.
I was going to have like a 7 or 8. That way they have improvement.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is just like the Davis County game where they're ready to go ahead of time. I don't know if the same thing happens with some places. They're going to make it stand around. operating ahead of schedule here at Franklin Simpson High School. The players are ready to go with about a minute and a half before scheduled kickoff. Refs gave them the green light. Allen County Scottsville with the ball first, and if there's one thing we know, Tyler Arterburn, about these Patriots, they thrive in the return game. 3 punt return touchdowns already this season. Chase Ross with a great return to get things started. Colton Sullivan, not even one of the 2 key guys you look to in the return game. You're looking at Ross, you're looking at Granger. Sullivan catches it, runs it out to the 40. Opening play, we get a run from the Patriots. Line is driving up to the 45-yard line. Looked like it was bottled up for no gain, and that time Chase Ross, as you mentioned, a lot of these runners between Ross and the quarterback Adams, they'll get Bladen Beavers involved, all of them really strong runners. That time Ross able to drive forward, pick up 5 on the opening play. It's a blitz to start for us. It's a blitz to start for you listening. Allen County Scottsville at their own 45-yard line, 2nd and 5. We're 30 seconds into this matchup between the Patriots and your Franklin Simpson Wildcats. Under center is Adams. He fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, tried to reach out the ball for the first down. It came out late. Was he on a player? No. He was.
They rolled him down.
And now the officials rule him down. The Wildcats think they have the football. They're going to rule that he was down. The line of game was midfield. He got there, reached out the ball across his body. It was hard to tell, Tyler, if he was down or if he was on top of the defender's body, kind of like if you watched the football game last night, Kansas City, the running back, Isaiah Pacheco, he was on top of a defender. They picked him up and pushed him forward for a couple more yards. Hard to tell if that was the case there. Regardless, ruled down. ACS keeps the ball, and they're at midfield.
Yeah, and looked like the ball was coming out as he was going down, so would have been a fumble.
Adams in the gun, sends a man in motion. That's Ryan Hensley to the left side. Split backs each way, going to give it to the second man through. Running left to right is Beavers. He's up for a 4-yard gain to the 46-yard line into Franklin Simpson territory.
And the Patriots were in a shotgun formation with 2 backs in the backfield. In the scrimmages, it didn't look like that was their best way to run. I truly believe that they thrive so far in their first 2 games. I don't know what practices look like this week for them, but they have thrived under center. Shotgun's not is a weakness to them, but Patriots are lining up in it again.
Cats have 4 on the line here against split back look. They send a man into motion outside. That's Beavers faking the handoff to Ross. The quarterback slips up. He drives forward to the 45-yard line for a gain of 1. Tackle there is the quarterback Adams. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for Allen County Scottsville at the Franklin Simpson 45-yard line. 9:45 left in this opening quarter. Can the Cats make an early stand defensively?
Yeah, it looks like this Patriot offense is going back to what they used to do 15 years ago when they were getting the state and had the district championships. They're trying to run the football. They're going a lot of option plays. They're not trying to throw it out there as much, but they're trying to keep it simple.
2 wide receivers left, 1 right again. Both Beavers and Ross in the backfield. Shotgun snap. It's a throw. Adams looking downfield. Has a man deep. Granger's behind everybody. Anderson catches up after the catch. Drags him down at the 1-yard line. It's a 44-yard completion on 3rd and 5. Had everybody beat. They'll pull it back to the 2-yard line, but it's 1st and goal there for the Patriots. There's what we talked about in the pregame, Tyler. Big plays over the top. When they throw it, it's either underneath in the flats to Ross or they're looking deep for Granger.
Yeah, Granger can absolutely move, and on in film he was able to get those double moves. Not a lot of connections, but Adams was able to put that one on a dime.
Adams under center here. 2-back formation, hands it off to Ross, going left. It looked like they tried to set up a bit of a counter, and Franklin Simpson is all over it. They sent the fullback to the right side and then ran it with Ross to the left, and we'll see if they give any forward progress here, but it looks like for now, Tyler, loss of 3 back to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely, and Allen County Scottsville, it's almost a throwback offense, this I formation, running plays like ISO and counter and veer, and if you're not familiar with those, I'll try to explain them as I go on through the game. But, the Franklin Simpson Wildcats are ready for it.
Back under center I formation, 1 wide receiver each way. Whistle blows before the snap, and it's a false start against the Patriots. Welcome back 5 more yards to the 10.
After a big pass play by Granger, a big catch by Granger, Patriots are going in the wrong direction. A good break for the Wildcats. It looks like they're able to sub some guys in the 2nd and long situations, get a little bit more of a pass rush, and get in the backfield. They look ready to go.
Is good to see Lane Alford back out there at linebacker for the Cats after missing that game last week against Warren Central. Patriots in the shotgun here, 2 wide receivers each way. One running back to the right side of the quarterback, Adams, is Braden Holland, the junior. Adams looking to throw, rolling right, looks like a hold. They don't call it. Adams gets rid of it at the last moment, falling out of bounds. It would have been a wide open touchdown, but the receiver dropped it at the goal line.
Yeah, that was absolutely clean. And, a lot of times you have 2 officials in the backfield. They can see that. A lot of times, me, Alex, they call them out of the game. But if you're not
or make it a 5-yard penalty. We've heard this field.
Yeah, if it's gonna be blatant, you got to call it. I mean, that one was a bad one. I don't say that very often. The Lane Alford was held.
That was the running back Holland out of the backfield, could not hold on. There was no one within 10 yards of him anyway, but it's 3rd and goal now at the 10, 7:41 left in this opening quarter. Can the Cats make a stand? They bring pressure on 3rd down. Adams rolling out, spins to his right. Alford had a hand on him, couldn't bring him down. Throw across the middle. It's caught. Can the Cats wrap him up and bring him down? They stack him up at the goal line. What's the call? They signal a touchdown. They give forward progress into the end zone, a touchdown pass for the Patriots. Believe it was Beavers on the catch and then charging through everyone, and ACS strikes first.
It looks like a good second effort. And, I think the Wildcats were able to watch a lot of film and see Adams get flustered in these games and whenever he's got pressure, and they were sending a blitz on 3rd and long, but he looked cool, calm, and collected.
And here's what we've seen from ACS all year long. Their kicker injured. They go for 2 in every situation. They're going to do it here, I formation. They go to the fullback at the last moment. Adams handed it off. There's a pile up the goal line, and I believe the Cats have held. They have.
Yeah, that was a play where you're reading with the fullback. You leave one of the defensive linemen unblocked, but when Aiden Jones is unblocked, he's pretty quick. I mean, that's the thing about this Franklin Simpson defensive line. They're pretty quick, and he was able to get in the backfield and stop both the fullback and the quarterback.
ACS strikes first, 7:26 left first quarter, 6-0. The Patriots lead it after the 10-yard touchdown pass. You're listening to Wildcat Football on 92.3 WFKN. Just a 30 here.
Who was it?
It was Turner. I had to look on that roster to figure it out.
What? Oh, yeah, I thought it was 11.
We had to dig through the roster to officially figure out who caught that touchdown for Allen County, Scottsville. I had seen Bladen Beavers, who was the only person with a number that we have on the roster, who was up and running around afterwards, but it was Tyler Turner, number 11, late addition to this roster, who caught it. On the kickoff coming the other way, Lane Alford bobbled what is going to be the usual squib kicks we see from Allen County, Scottsville anytime they kick off. Eventually fielded it, and just like Allen County, Scottsville had great field position to start their first drive at their own 40, the Cats will start at their own 44.
Here we go. Wildcats offense ready to answer back after that. A pretty good touchdown drive for the Patriots. Wildcats are ready to get in, see what they got with Brady Delk coming in at quarterback.
Franklin Simpson, as I mentioned in the pregame show, gave up over 200 yards through the air against Warren Central last week. Gave up 270 to the Patriots last season. They gave up 53 in the 10-yard touchdown pass to Turner on that opening drive. Can the offense answer? Delk under center, sends Anderson in motion. They go up the middle. Lane Alford, happy to be back. He's running through everyone across midfield down to the 40-yard line. Welcome back, Lane Alford.
Yeah, and something I was able to see, and I mentioned offense coordinator Matt Marshday. Lane Alford could have a career game tonight. In the game against Marion County, where, I'm just going to say it, they were an inferior opponent. They ran the wishbone offense to Marion County, which you have 3 backs in the backfield and big fullbacks, and they're running down Allen County Scottsville's throat. And I think Lane Alford's better than any other back that the Patriots have seen, so he could have a heck of a game.
Ball at the ACS 39-yard line. Anderson in motion, gets the pitch going right. Tries to cut outside. Gets a good help block there from Alford. Stiff arms a man out of bounds. Is pushed down around the 35-yard line for a good gain on first down.
Something to keep an eye on. It looked a little chippy at the end of that. At the end of the play, a little not nothing serious yet, but some.
When it's these two teams, it can escalate pretty quickly.
And mean, there's been a lot of talk between both teams this week. It's, that's something to keep an eye on. But back to the run, talking about football, Colin was really patient there. And again, he mixes up patience and burst, and he had patience to set up his blocks.
McPherson goes into motion this time. They fake it up the middle to Lane, who then tries to go to Colin. Brady does. They collide with each other, and it's a big loss. It was just a miscommunication there. They picked up 4 on that last play. Here they lose 3. It'll be 3rd and 9.
And the blocking looked like it was set up pretty well, just some miscommunication in the backfield of which way to go. And that's unfortunate because, again, the Wildcats are in 3rd and 9. They don't, when it's 3rd and long, this season so far, they've struggled.
Brody Perry comes in at receiver for the Cats. He's lined up wide right. Anderson for now wide left. McPherson is the wingback on the right side, offer behind his quarterback Delk. They fake it to Lane. They go to McPherson running right to left, and he is swallowed up in the backfield for another loss. Back to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like the Patriots are just teeing off on that defensive line there. No hesitation, and some of these young offensive linemen for Franklin Simpson struggle.
And now in a weird kind of in-between spot, stuck at the ACS 41-yard line, the Wildcats are going to choose to punt it with the first-year kicker who has been excellent so far this season, Brody McAllister, perfect on his extra points. Could really use a great punt here to pin the Patriots. They set up for the return. It's a good spiraling kick down to the 10-yard line. It's fielded, though, by the dangerous Granger. Gets a block, 25-30, cuts upfield at the 35, across the 40, out in space, cross midfield. Anderson dives, can't catch him. Block on the outside, set up, 35-30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. 4th punt return touchdown of the season for the Allen County Scottsville Patriots, but there's a flag at the 10.
There's a flag at the line of scrimmage, too. The wide receiver on the left side for Franklin Simpson didn't get lined up correctly. He wasn't on the ball. Only 6 men were on the ball. So it'll be a legal procedure by Franklin Simpson for the.
So if it's offsetting penalties here, would that be another punt?
I would say it would be another punt. That'd be interesting to see.
If that's the case, do you punt another ball in the field of play?
Absolutely not.
The block in the back is accepted, so it looked like there, Tyler, it was actually both penalties were against Allen County Scottsville.
Well, I guess if Allen County,
that's true, if they decline it.
Each team has a chance to decline. They had a chance to decline it.
So we'll see after the penalty where they will mark this. The flag was down at the 10. So Allen County Scottsville will not have the touchdown. That's wiped off, but the penalty. But, again, fantastic field position. Right now, they've still got the ball at the 10. If that's where the flag was, should walk it back from there. And that's what the referee's signaling. He needed the entire Allen County Scottsville offense to move first.
Yeah.
4:59 left in the quarter. Patriots already leading at 6-0.
It still, as a coach, it still blows your mind how you even get a block in the back penalty. I mean, it's pretty much always after a guy is already, an insignificant block. I mean, he was already close to the end zone, and it was unnecessary. But the Wildcats have life here.
They'll start this drive in the red zone at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Adams looking to throw quickly, goes into the flat and overthrew his man with a quick out to Beavers and threw it over his head by about 2 or 3 yards.
Now, like I said, he's got a cannon. He really struggles at reining that thing in. He can throw it deep, as we saw to Granger, but a lot of these short, just a simple route, wide open. He just overthrew him by a mile.
They like to use those backs in the passing game a lot of times. We've seen this in this game as well. It'll be Braden Holland you actually see lined up at running back, and then the 2 normal running backs, Chase Ross and Bladen Beavers, will actually be outside at receiver somewhere.
Yeah.
This time they've got Ross in the backfield to the right side of his quarterback. Ball on the left hash for 2nd and 10, still at the 20-yard line, 4:55 left, opening quarter. Beavers comes into motion, going to the right side. They hand it off to Ross, going left, gets around the first defender, stiff arms another man inside the 10, tries to cut inside the 5 and pushed out of bounds there. Few Wildcats flew in late. Fortunately, no call. But it's going to set up 1st and goal for Allen County Scottsville on a 15-yard run from Chase Ross.
Yeah, Chase Ross, he's an old school run hard back for the Patriots. He's not somebody that you can arm tackle. Yeah, you got to wrap him up and try to take him down. You don't see a lot of running backs like him these days. You see a lot of fullbacks still. You don't see a lot of running backs that can move, that can be shifty, and that can still break tackles.
They walk it back to the 6 to give the Cats an extra yard of cushion. It's 1st and goal from their I formation, 1 wide receiver each way. The halfback is Ross. Instead, they go to the first man through, and scoring is Holland.
One of the keys this week was for Franklin Simpson's defense is you got to get a hat on the fullback every play, and you got to stop him. And he's not had a lot of runs. He's not the threat to take it to the house every play, but short yard, if you leave him open, I mean, he can get a 5-6 yard gain and pretty easily, just like he did there for the touchdown for the Patriots.
4:18 left in the opening quarter. Now 12-0 as the Patriots will stay on to go for 2 again. Tried to run it in last time to no avail. They've got a spread formation here. 2 wide receivers each way. Holland to the right side of his shotgun quarterback, Adams. Sends a man in motion. It's Beavers. Hands it off to him on the sweep. He's met outside, picked up, and thrown down. And maybe that's where the momentum comes from for the Wildcats. The heart and soul of this team, Lane Alford, makes the play. The Cats have stood tall on the 2-point conversions, but as it stands, they trail at 12-0. 4:18 left in the first quarter here on 92.3 WFKN. All right, we'll do a 30 again.
Who scored the touchdown?
Holland, number 20. After a punt return, touchdown is wiped off the board. Allen County Scottsville still able to capitalize quickly with great field position at the Franklin Simpson 20. They cap a quick drive with a Braden Holland touchdown run from 6 yards out. They lead at 12-0 as Franklin Simpson fields the squib kickoff. On the far side, McPherson was the one up with it and tried to make something out of it. That's probably, now we don't know this for sure, Tyler, that might be the best field position that ACS has forced an opponent into with that squib kick, as Franklin's still going to have to start back at their own 23-yard line.
Yeah, they don't kick it very far often, but man, they had good cover.
That time just put it in a spot where nobody was.
Yeah, and just so much about this is momentum. Like, there's a lot of fire on the Allen County Scottsville sideline. There's not a lot on Franklin Simpson. We got to have a big play to get back in this, be excited.
Lane Alford had the big stop on the 2-point conversion that hopefully sparked some life into this Franklin Simpson team that offensively got off to a great start with a 16-yard run from Lane on that last drive, but then things stalled, had back-to-back carries that went for a loss of 3 yards for Blake and Collin. Can they get things going here as a penalty came in late, Tyler? I didn't exactly see what the call was.
I didn't see
but they move it back to the
no.
Franklin Simpson 11-yard line. Had to be some kind of personal foul half the distance to the goal. And the Cats now pinned at their own 11 to start this drive. And tried to hand it off up the middle on the first play. Goes for nothing. Thought there were whistles blowing before the snap.
Yeah, a lot of confusion going on.
They let the play roll. It goes for no gain. It's 2nd and 10. That's what we know for sure. 3:50 left and ticking in this quarter. Tyler, you mentioned momentum. Outside of the obvious of picking up yards, moving the chains, what do you think Franklin Simpson needs to do from a mindset standpoint here to try to gain some of that momentum?
I mean, I just say a big play. I mean, we saw it last week, and it looks like they're trying to go to Collin for that big play.
Double move here with the pump, and then throws it over the top to Anderson, who catches it over the shoulder at the 35. Tries to cut back upfield near the 45-yard line, but just stepped out of bounds. If he didn't, he might have been gone. There's the big play right on cue, Tyler Arterburn. 33-yard completion to Anderson, who has emerged, despite mainly being a running back, as such a dangerous threat in the passing game for the Cats.
Absolutely, he's got good hands, but more than anything, he's got good moves. He's able to make that great double move and on the outside, and that's what happened against Warren Central. Franklin Simpson backs her against the wall, and Colin caught a beautiful catch right before halftime and was able to make a play. Get them right back in the game this time.
Now at the 44 where they started their first drive, they go McPherson outside, waits for his blocks, tries to go through a small hole, then met by a swarm of Allen County Scottsville defenders. Late the ball came out. They're saying that McPherson was down, though, at the 45 for a gain of 1.
And that play was an old-fashioned play as well, talking about a throwback. That was called buck. Both guards were pulling and trying to get out there to be a leading for the back, but you know, Allen County Scottsville, they're still teeing off. I mean, they're not laying down, even though you know they're had a big play. They're not falling asleep. These linebackers are. And Morris is right there in there to make the play as well.
And if you notice, they've got 5 guys up there on the line. You can really make it 6 with a linebacker coming off the edge. As McPherson gets it going right side. They exploit the weak side of that defense. He's across midfield, past the 40, dragged out of bounds through the 35-yard line. They were stacked up on the right side of the defense. Cats go to the right side of their offense and get another big play, this time on the ground.
And this was a look that we started seeing several years ago against Glasgow. They were Glasgow, the Scotties, they ran this defensive look against Franklin Simpson, and it looks like Allen County Scottsville stole this look with 5 defensive linemen to really stop the fullback and to get it in there to stop it, you know, these short plays, and have fewer linebackers out reading, because a lot of times you call plays to get the linebackers out of the game. Well, if you have fewer linebackers, then you don't have to get them out of the game. So but the Patriots lining up again.
First and 10 at the 36. This time up the middle. Alford, huge hole. Splits the C. He's inside the 20. Dragged down at the 16-yard line.
Even so, with 5 defensive linemen, if you have good fakes, I didn't know where the ball was going at first, because the running backs, the wing backs were running out there like they had the ball, and Lane Alford was able to trick and go up the middle for a good gain, and the Wildcats are in business inside the 20.
16 yards from pay dirt, trailing at 12-0. Minute and a half left in this opening quarter. The Cats have come to life. An 18-yard run from McPherson, a 20-yard run from Alford. The momentum starting to swing. The Wildcats line back up in those black tops with the jerseys, blue pants, white helmets. Anderson comes into motion. They fake a handoff, go to McPherson, cutting up the middle. Gets inside the 15, barrels down to the 10-yard line. He brings such a blend of power and speed, and the biggest thing we've talked about is he is so much more agile this year. His cuts are so much faster.
Absolutely. I mean, he really worked hard this offseason and grew up as well. But you can tell he got in the weight room, and he's I don't know what else he's doing to get quicker, if he's got a trainer or whatever, but he was working hard. He's a very dedicated kid inside the classroom and on the football. You're glad to see a kid like that succeed. 2nd
and 4 at the 10. Anderson and McPherson are on the left side. They go to Alford up the middle. Blake crashes through with a fantastic block. Alford caps off the drive with a 10-yard score.
Beautiful run up the middle, and again, I'm calling him, and he could have a career game, and he's well on his way with some beautiful runs so far, carrying that drive and finishing it off with a touchdown. Good run by the big fella.
Was a beautiful design there and great execution. They bring Blake through as a blocker, kind of switching roles with Lane on that one. Both as a disguise, but also laid a great block, paid the way. 10-yard touchdown. Snap is not perfect for the PAT, but it's held perfectly by Brady, and the kick is up and through. 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Boy, it's been a good one so far. The Cats finally answer, but they trail it 12-7 here at Franklin Simpson High School. You're listening to Wildcat Football on 92.3 WFKN. 30 again. Alford back on the field and back in the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the year. Ties Aiden Jones for the team lead. Brody McAllister now 12 for 12 on his PATs as he boots this kickoff. It takes a friendly spin. ACS was willing to let it hop out of bounds. It stayed in bounds, ultimately recovered and run up near the 35-yard line. There was some extracurricular activity late, nothing going to be called. And Allen County Scottsville will start at their own 34. Franklin Simpson there trying to be very careful, keep the ball away from Ross and Granger out deep. And that one you could see some of the soccer background from Brody as it almost looked like a punt the way that it hit and just stuck down there.
That little pooch kick just straight up in the air. You almost sometimes want to fair catch that, which you can do on a kickoff return. I've seen teams do that. So
I'd like to say that's what I look like with a 60-degree wedge in my hand on the golf course, but I'd be lying if I said that. I would school one right through the uprights if it was me.
Oh, man.
Split back formation here with Adams in the shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes it to the first man through, gives it to Ross. The Cats are all over it, but a hold going to come in as Ross was able to slip past the first two defenders, eventually spun up to the 40. Was a really good run, but I believe that one's going to come back as Franklin Simpson got back there quickly, and I think the Patriots had no choice but to hold.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't see a bad holding penalty on the in the middle on a run up the middle, but that was bad, and you have number 60 in there for Allen County Scottsville, Jacob Farrer, and he comes in, looks like for spells. He looks like a pretty decent player, just a sophomore. He didn't start the whole game. Looks like I think he comes in for number 68, Carson Holland. So he's the one that picked up that holding penalty. So that's an interesting matchup to see at that left tackle spot for the Patriots.
Makes it 1st and 20 at the ACS 24, clock ticking, 10 seconds left in this opening quarter. Looks like they're going to try to run one more play or might let it run out, try to get the Cats to jump. They do snap it now. Two wide receivers each way. Adams throwing an out route far side, and it's caught by Ross, who then gets out of bounds for a gain of just a few to end the opening quarter. It was all Allen County Scottsville to start this ball game. Back-to-back touchdowns to build up a 12-0 lead. Franklin Simpson near the end of the quarter finally finds their response. And as we head to the second frame, it's 12-7 with the Patriots leading it over Franklin Simpson. You're listening to Wildcat Football on 92.3 WFKN. We can do a minute here. Can you send that score?
Which one?
Ours. Into that chat.
Oh, my goodness. Thanks for your message. Oh, Kyle did it.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I forgot he's in there.
I like it. Just makes someone mad.
.17 after a 3-yard completion to end the first quarter. Cats bring a blitz on this opening play. They get a big hit on the quarterback, Adams. He gets rid of it just before it. Pass falls incomplete. Was intended for Granger on the near side. That's one strength we've seen from this Wildcat pass rush in particular, Tyler. We haven't seen a ton of sacks from Franklin Simpson so far this season, just 4 of them coming into this game, but they are really good at getting some pressure back there. Patrick Moss that time getting the big hit on Adams to force the 3rd and 17.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to bring guys. It'll be interesting in this 3rd and 17. Are the Wildcats going to try to bring guys? I say nonetheless, they're going to try to show blitz and then maybe back off from it.
4 on the line here. They bring just those 4. Adams looking to the far side, throws it up. It's a jump ball, and it's going to be picked off. Colin Anderson going to work now in traffic across the 40. Got a big block behind him. 35-30, 25-20, and they threw 2 flags back there for that block. Franklin would have been in the red zone. Regardless, they get the pick, but they're going to bring it back.
And I think what they're going to try to call is a blindside block, but the guy he saw him. I don't agree with that. I don't think they were in position to call that. The officials were. I think that's going to be a terrible call.
It's the second interception of the season for Colin.
They're calling holding. I didn't see that one either.
That's what we talked about with Adams, Tyler, is that tendency to just throw it up and kind of hope, especially if you can bring pressure. I think that time he might have been along the same lines as you of anticipating some pressure there. It looked like from the jump he was committed to throwing that deep ball quickly. Franklin Simpson dropped back in coverage, had a couple of DBs in that spot. That one just fell into Colin's lap. They're now going to walk it back, though. Here's the other side of it. Instead of starting near the Allen County Scottsville 20, Franklin Simpson at their own 45-yard line after the interception, 20 seconds into the second quarter. But can they go on a drive here and take the lead early on? Delk under center, hands it off to Alford. Skips over a man. He's free again inside the 40, 35, down to the 30.
What a run right up the middle of the big guy. I mean, it looks like Allen County, they're scared to tackle him. I mean, if you can get one guy up to the second level, these linebackers don't look like they want to fight off and make the tackle. A great job by Franklin Simpson's offensive line to make sure that they get those linebackers blocked.
He's had 5 runs today. 4 of them have gone for double-digit yardage. That's the second one for at least 20. You said coming in you thought he could have a career night. So far, so good in that department. He's lined up. Under center is Delk. Pitches it outside. McPherson has the blocks. Going to work inside the 20. 15 pushed out of bounds near the 10. Boy, the Cats are moving it now.
Absolutely, and great blocks on the outside by Caden Bennett and number 2. Who's number 2?
Brody Perry was out there.
Brody Perry was out there. Great block on the outside. Not seen him play too much, but great blocks on the outside and able to get a good gain. Another first down for the Wildcats. Knocking on the door.
Down to the 13-yard line of Allen County Scottsville. A minute into the second quarter. Casey Groves back in there at wide receiver. Caught a 40-yard touchdown against Warren Central. And they've got Himshoot back there at fullback behind Delk. Both wingbacks to the left side. They fake it to Himshoot. Brady's going to keep it. Going left. Cuts outside and pushed out of bounds. Flag comes in late, it looks like. Might get a downfield hold against the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hold. But again, yeah. I see what he's trying to say, but these officials, when they're in front of a guy, in front of the holding, you need to let there's a 7-man crew here. You need to let the guy behind the offensive player call it. They have the better advantage point. And I was telling you in the pregame, and I'll just say it now. I mean, these 7-man crew, we've had a 7-man crew for all 3 of our games, rightfully so. I mean, it's just, to look at a lot of the pass game, a lot of the things down deep. Sometimes it feels like these guys have to, make themselves known and throw extra flags. I mean, I don't know. I think, there's been a lot of penalties, unnecessary penalties this year. Let the kids play.
The good news, it was so far downfield, the penalty only goes back 4 yards to the 14-yard line. Here comes Anderson outside. He's wrapped up and dropped in the backfield for a huge loss. Mason Hester, who doesn't get as much attention because of how good Jackson Morris back at linebacker is. He's a fantastic player. 13 tackles so far this season. Had 8 against Franklin Simpson last year, including a couple tackles for loss. That time drives it all the way back to the 23-yard line. So now it's like you got the full 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, and this is a bad spot for the Wildcats to be in, second and 20. I don't know if they'll take a shot here.
They've got Groves one-on-one on the right hash if they want it. Delk gets the snap, pitches it to Alford at the fullback spot. Now he's going to try to cut it outside inside the 15. 10 tried to turn the corner, but he's wrapped up at the 10-yard line. I love the plays that we're seeing, these different ways to utilize Lane.
I don't know if Allen County Scots was more scared of Lane Alford or the speed of Colin Anderson on the outside. Whichever one, it's working, and Lane is able to have himself a night. Allen County Scottsville looks like they're making some substitutions on the defensive line, but they're going smaller.
Maybe anticipating something outside here. It's 3rd and 8 down at the 11-yard line. Ball on the right hash for Franklin Simpson. 9:20 left before halftime.
I think Franklin Simpson's going on too. Let's see if they jump.
Brady under center. Brody Perry's the wide receiver left side. They hand it off to Lane. Trying to go right side. This time wrapped up from behind by Ace Moore and dropped. Moore, 6', 205 junior. Just 5 tackles on the season coming into this one, but that one probably the biggest one he's made. Held Lane to just a couple. 4th and 6, ball on the right hash. And here's the interesting part. We've seen Brody McAllister kick a field goal this year, Tyler, but that one was from the left hash. And you know that those preferences matter a whole lot, and it looks like here, at least as it stands, the Wildcats on 4th and 6 at the 9-yard line, trailing it by 5, are going to keep the offense out on the field.
Allen County Scottsville's got some smaller defensive linemen in there. Let's see if Franklin Simpson tries to run it or if they're going to pass it.
Delt drops back. He's looking to throw. Pressured. Floats it up into the end zone, and it's picked up.
Oh, no.
Jump ball thrown up, and guess who's got it? Granger chased down from behind. A fantastic play. We may not talk about it. It's not going to make headlines, but when we look back at the story of this game, that shoestring tackle by Colin Anderson might be the biggest play of this ball game because Granger was ready to roll, but instead dropped at his own 19-yard line. But still, on 4th down at the Allen County Scottsville 9, the Patriots force the turnover and keep the Cats out of the end zone and keep their lead at 5.
Usually on 4th down, you don't mind throwing that ball up because it's like a punt. But that's not a guy you want to get the ball in his hands to. But great tackle by Colin Anderson.
I formation. Here goes Ross, the left side, spins past the first tackler, bounces off another, and he's out across the 25-yard line. Good gain on a 1st down run. They're using a lot of misdirection in their run game, sending the fullback one way, sending Ross the other. That time able to run it up near the 28-yard line for a gain of 9.
Yeah, and you send your fullback, you think, oh, you don't have a lead blocker, but what Allen County Scottsville does, it's called GT, counter trade. They pull their backside guard and tackle to lead block for Ross, so he's not left alone on an island.
They're in that I formation once again. The quarterback under center. This time hands it off to the first man through. That is the fullback, Holland. He's got the 1st down and then some to the 35-yard line. Gain of 7.
And Allen County Scottsville is looking very comfortable in this I formation, running this veer, the triple option, if you will, something that, again, you don't see a lot. And he is reading the plays. He's reading defensive linemen, seeing if he's going to bite on the fullback. If he bites on the fullback, he's going to pull it, and he has the option to pitch at that point. It's very hard as a defense to stop it.
And the Cats bring in big Zeke Eberhardt down there on the defensive line. They've tried to not make him play as much on defense this year, try to get some more size down there for this 1st and 10, but it's a pinch out outside. Ross in trouble initially, cuts up field, hit from behind, and then the Cats were able to close it out coming in to clean up that play. It looked like it was Jackson Gass. There were about 3 or 4 Wildcats in the area. I think Jackson was the last one to hit him. But still, though, Ross, so powerful, able to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, Ross, I don't know if there's been any plays that look clean, like cleanly blocked. But Ross is still able to get a 5-yard gain. He's a pretty good back.
Adams back in the gun, split back formation, 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. They hand it off to Holland at the last moment, cuts upfield across the 45 for the 1st down, hit and drop just beyond that. That's Beavers that time. Again, though, moving the chains. They're using all of these backs. Beavers, Ross, Holland, that one of those read options. Adams held on to it as long as he possibly could before making the handoff. And they just keep moving the football.
And I was going to say in the pregame, the Beavers, he had a run against Monroe County, and he just put his foot in the turf and just went. He's got some speed. So, you got Granger on the outside, but you also got Beavers, who's not been very involved. And I think Allen County Scottsville knows that, and they're trying to get him involved in this game.
Ross to the left of his quarterback, Beavers to the right. Adams gets the snap. He fakes it to Beavers this time, keeps it up the middle, across the 50, cuts outside 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, sprinting down the sideline. It's a foot race. The Wildcats finally catch up and force him out of bounds inside the 10, down near the 5. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Allen County Scottsville offense.
And again, you're seeing the difficulty of this. And it looks like Franklin Simpson's calling a timeout. The difficulty to stop this option play because, you got guys left on islands, and it's very tough.
47-yard run for Adams, the quarterback who can be so explosive both with his arms and his legs. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. 5:33 left before halftime. Franklin Simpson trailing it 12-7. Tyler will keep it here because it's a pivotal moment in this ball game when you just turned it over on the goal line with a chance to take the lead. ACS got the ball first in this ball game. So if you're Franklin Simpson, you can hold, you start the second half with the football. Momentum has been the key word in all of this, and you can really swing things here with a stop. Or if you're ACS, you can really start moving things in your favor if you're able to punch this ball in here.
Yeah, very key play, very key 6 yards right here. Oh, my goodness. Franklin Simpson, to be honest with you, they probably feel like they've played terrible. But if they can go into halftime, just 12-7 ball game, they can come out with a lot of momentum in the second half. If they get down 19-7, this is, pun intended, a different ball game.
And they come out with that I formation again. If you're Franklin, the big thing here is make them work. The first drive down for the touchdown, they made them work before the 10-yard pass to Tyler Turner. Last time it was a 6-yard handoff to Holland, and they scored immediately. Let's see what they do here. It's a play action. Adams looking to throw. He's got a man wide open in the end zone. It's Holland again. He dropped the touchdown earlier. This time he holds on for 6.
And looks like there was some confusion in the defensive backfield, but some of the linebackers, I think, were responsible for that, but it's hard playing linebacker when you're so worried about the run that's just been going down and down and down, and you get a play-action fake with a great fake and rolling out. There's not much else you can do.
18-7 again. The Patriots will go for 2 with 5:27 left in the second quarter. The 6-yard touchdown pass to Braden Holland, his second touchdown of the day. 1 on the ground, 1 through the air, both 6 yards out. Now 3 players lined up right, 1 left. Now the running back goes into motion. They're setting up a swing. It's a fake swing. Now they go back on the left side. Receiver catches it. He's in a world of trouble, and the Cats have that wrapped up for absolutely nothing. They've shut down all the 2-point conversion plays, but the problem, the Patriots have had 3 of them, and they lead at 18-7. 5:27 left in this second quarter. You're listening to Wildcat Football on 92.3 WFKN. Let's do it 30.
I said 19-7, but
You can get things back under control, score here, get the ball back to start the second half, but it all starts with a clean kickoff play. It's anything but clean, as initially the ball is dove over by Aiden Jones. Then Lane comes in to hop on it inside the 35-yard line. Franklin Simpson not really able to capitalize on these squib kicks from Allen County, Scottsville. This time they'll start at their own 34.
The one thing about them, it's just hard to catch those things clean. And you got guys, seems like, the game's in their head. This being down 18-7 is in their head. And, it takes a time right now for senior leadership to step up. And not a lot of seniors on this Franklin Simpson team, but they have stepped up before, so we'll see what happens now.
Delk back under center, sends Anderson into motion left to right. They go up the middle. It's him shoot in the ball game. Picks up a couple on the first down carry to the right side.
So not as much on that play, but, you're still gaining positive yards, and that sets some other things up. And then Lane Alford's able to come back in. And it's still plenty of time. No need to get in a panic. It can be easy to do, but you got plenty of time to make sure that you try to score here and make this a closer game before the half.
One thing that ACS always has in their favor is even when on the road, they do what they can to make it a home game. They really pack the crowd.
Oh,
they travel very well everywhere, especially for these games. As on 2nd and 8, Anderson goes into motion left to right before Franklin Simpson can get the play going. We're going to get a penalty called on ACS. They jumped early. Must have been contact up there. Otherwise, would have let it ride. But it's going to be a free 5 yards for Franklin Simpson.
The pen, I've been told, I think it changed, but I've been told by an official that they blow it dead even if you're in the neutral zone. It's not like the NFL where you can kind of get in the neutral zone and then get back
in there.
If you're in the neutral zone, I think they try to blow it dead more for player safety at this level. There's some rules that are different from level to level, and I think that's one that KHSAA has changed in recent years.
Sets up a 2nd and 3. Franklin Simpson up to their own 41-yard line. 4:40 left to work with in the half. Plenty of time. Couple of timeouts as well. Delk in the shotgun here. One wide receiver outside is Groves. Delk trying to dump it underneath to Alford. Catches it. Gets away from the first defender. He's got room to work with. Across midfield. Pushes his blocker forward. Gets past the 40 and out of bounds just short of the 35-yard line. I don't care how. I don't care where. Get Lane the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And believe it or not, I think, some of the coaches say that Lane has some of the best hands on the team, and he's not able to catch and doesn't need to catch the ball much, but, he's able to get the football in open space. Very patient as a runner and methodical and powerful, all on one reception. It's great to see that play by the young man.
Goes for 25 yards. It feels almost like cheating Lane to say that it was through the air because he did most of it on the ground. Even pushed his own blocker forward. And now the Cats are in business at the ACS 36-yard line. Delk hands it off at the last moment to McPherson and might have been able to get back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to say it goes for no gain.
Yeah, and that's just tough blocking, tough defensive line, play up front, staying in your gap, not getting pushed around, and Franklin Simpson wasn't able to take advantage on that play.
That's what this ACS defense does. If you go back last year when these two teams faced off, they had 12 tackles for loss in that ball game. There have been a couple of runs go for no gain for Franklin Simpson, 3 go for negative yardage. So not quite as many as last year, but they do a really good job, especially with this stacked front like you've talked about. 6 guys up there on the defensive line, or at least around the line of scrimmage. Makes it a little tough to operate up there. It hasn't been tough for Lane. He's still out of there. They got him shooting at fullback as McPherson comes into motion. They hand it off to him going right to left. Tries to get outside. Has some blockers out there. Can't slip past the last man. It was a good tackle out there on the outside at the last moment by Hester. Second time tonight he's made one of those big play-saving tackles. Was still a good run for Blake. We'll see exactly where they spot it. The line of gain is the 26-yard line. They've got him at the 28, so need 2 more here on 3rd down.
What I'm liking, Franklin Simpson, this offense can be kind of predictable. If you get in, you see the motions and you see everybody lined up on one side. Okay, you may shift to that side. They're running to that side. But what Franklin Simpson is doing, and I think they put an emphasis on this week, is making sure you're getting up to the line of scrimmage, putting your hand in the dirt, and get ready to run the play quickly so that the defense can't adjust.
Lane back in there at fullback for this 3rd and 2. They fake it to him. Delk goes outside. Everybody on ACS thought that Lane had the football. Brady keeps it himself, gets up near the 20, and picks up the first down with ease.
And that's a beautiful play, and that's something that I'm excited to see with Brady, is that kind of quarterback keeper. And
we saw it with Matthias a lot as the year went on last year.
As the year, and Brady is just an incredible runner. Being a running back before this year, and oh my goodness, it's exciting to see him make those plays with his legs.
Picked up 6 that time down to the 22-yard line. First down there, 2:25 and ticking left before halftime. Cats trailing 18-7 in the first half against Allen County, Scottsville, but a score here goes a long way when you get the ball to start the second half. Delk under center, Anderson in a motion right to left. They pitch it outside. McPherson going to the right side. Has one man, can't get around him. Was a strong tackle there on the outside. Still picks up 4 on that first down play.
Just as I was talking about how a lot of times you have your blocker set on one side and then they want to motion to the other side, but they just pitched it to Blake to go to the other side, and he's able to gain 4, but, just keeping the Patriot defense on their toes.
Been a heavy dose of Blake and Lane in this first half. Only 2 carries for Colin Anderson. Gained 4 on his first one, lost 3 on his second one. Had the big catch as well. Wonder if they're setting something up for him as we get up for this 2nd and 6. Now a minute and a half left in the quarter. Delk gives it off up the middle. Alford gets outside, right side, dragged down hard near the 10, but he's got enough for another Franklin Simpson first down.
And keeping the chains moving. It's under a minute and a half, but Franklin Simpson still doesn't have to rush, just being on the 11-yard line. But Lane was just one guy away from scoring on that play, I believe, and they were able to bring him down. But what a game he's had so far on
8 carries for 96 yards.
96 yards.
So far for Lane Alford.
That may already, it's pretty
I'm
close
sure
to
he'd like 11 more on first
yeah.
down as the Cats set up, trying to put a dent in this lead. They go back to Lane, cuts right, runs into a man, gets down to the 1, tried to just roll his way into the end zone. They're going to mark him just short as the Cats try to milk every bit of this clock away. And because it was at the 11, able to pick up a first down there, so it's going to be first and goal down at the 1. We'll see if the Cats go to that big formation. I see Lane down there. I do as well. See Aiden Jones. It can go to either of those. And the big formation has been a little different this year because Blake McPherson has been the third guy in that 3-back set behind Delt. Clock ticking inside 30 seconds left before halftime. They go to Lane. He deserves the touchdown. Give him the touchdown. And the Wildcats go on a drive to end this first half.
Yeah, you're taking about 5 minutes off the clock. Good old school football. Not surrendering, not stopping. Oh, what a great drive. And, again, I say it this game, I said it last game, the character by these Wildcats. They're not down. They're down in the score, but mentally you can tell they're just ready to fight on every play.
That was a vintage Franklin Simpson football drive, as McAllister's extra point is perfect, and Franklin Simpson has trimmed that lead down to 4. 18-14. Allen County Scottsville up on the Wildcats. We'll keep it here with just 22 seconds left in this first half. Wildcats took over at their own 34. Just over 5 minutes left on the clock. Needed to A, score, and B, do what they could to give the defense a rest, keep that Allen County Scottsville offense off the field, and they check both of those boxes with a wonderful drive to get the momentum, that's been the word of the day, Tyler, back on their side.
Absolutely. This is a game of momentum, and the Wildcats at 22 seconds. You don't want one of those nasty punt returners. Looks like Ross is back there. Granger's back there. No, Granger is not back there, but Beavers is back there. Both of those guys can move, so I almost guarantee that Franklin Simpson is going to squib this one.
They've also got Ross, if you notice, lined up short there on the far side, kind of almost trying to hide him in case they kick a short one to him. 22 seconds left in the half. McAllister will boot it away. He's not far from it. It's another high kick. It's down around the 15-yard line. It's fielded cleanly there. Ball ran out to the left side by Sullivan. He's up near the 30, cuts up field, got to the 33. Ball came out. Was he down? They were going to say he was down. Wildcats again thought they had it. That's the third time, if you account for both sides, a ball has come out and the runner has been ruled down. This time it's a fortunate break for Allen County Scottsville as they'll still hold on to the football, taking over at their own 34. Just 13 seconds left, though, in this first half.
That would have been a big opportunity for Franklin Simpson, but nonetheless, Allen County Scottsville's getting the ball. Are they going to try to get another score here? Looks like Franklin Simpson's in a prevent defense with 5 deep defensive backs.
They've got 3 lined up at midfield in Perry, Brady, as well as Blake McPherson. Adams is under center. They're going to hand it off here to Ross going left. He's across the 40. If he gets out of bounds, he'll have a shot to throw one deep. He does. 6 seconds left on the clock. Picked up a first down. Got a good gain. We'll see where they officially mark that he stepped out. They actually got him short of midfield. Friendly spot, it feels like, for Franklin Simpson there.
Allen County Scott, that's a disadvantage of coming out in that prevent defense too early. Now you only got 51 yards versus about 65.
They like those quick out routes too. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to hit something quick, or with 6 seconds left, if
you got to launch it.
You really got to throw it. 3 wide receivers on the right side. Got to watch Granger. He's isolated on the left. Adams looking that way. He's going to take his chances. It's a huge throw. It's got a chance. It's picked off. Leaping interception, Blake McPherson. Second interception of the day for the Wildcats.
Oh, that was much needed right before the half. Preserved just a 4-point lead for Allen County Scottsville. get the ball back at halftime and try to take this game back over.
It's been an excellent game so far. Allen County Scottsville came out punching. 3 touchdowns in this opening half, had an 18-7 lead. The Cats answered late in the half with a long drive of their own. And as we go into the second half of action, ACS still up, but the Cats will start the second half with the football, trailing it 18-14. We're going to step away. When we come back, we get you all the stats from this opening half. We'll see if our halftime guest remembers that she's supposed to be up here. I see her getting up, so she might make her way up here without me having to text her first. It's going to be the head coach of the Lady Cat basketball team that achieved so much last year. High hopes this year. Ashley Taylor will join us. She's already ready to go when we get our halftime show going. Again, your score at the break, 18-14. Franklin Simpson trailing Allen County Scottsville. You're listening to Wildcat Football on 92.3 WFKN.
The band is under the direction of Kyle Graves, who is assisted by Amber Lanassis. Instructional staff includes John Benson, Isaac Perkins, and Aaron Tyler. The band is also hosting their annual invitational contest tomorrow night, beginning at 5 o'clock here at the Franklin Simpson High School Stadium. We invite everyone to come out.
Great. Yes, we played a couple of days at the dive last night.
Inside Old Shade Tree. Great place to be on any Friday night. But the Wildcats in a little trouble early on, trailing at 18-14 to Allen County Scottsville. They'll get the ball to start the second half. We're about 4 minutes out from the second half of play. Tyler Eaton now joined again by Tyler Arterburn as we get you the stats from that opening half. First, for Allen County Scottsville, quarterback Braylon Adams getting it done as we expected, through the air, on the ground, 4 for 9, 62 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of those just the last play of that opening half. He also runs it 3 times for 53 yards, so he's well over 100 total yards so far in this ball game. The biggest stat so far, Tyler, Allen County Scottsville on the ground, 13 carries, 122 yards as a team. The 53 yards from Adams, then 6 carries for 45 yards from Chase Ross. And then the star of the game, seemingly out of nowhere, Braden Holland with the 6-yard touchdown run. He's got a couple of carries for 13 yards. Beavers 2 for 11. I mentioned that 122-yard mark through the first half of play because that's very important. If you look back over the tenure of now 5th-year head coach Max Chaney, the Wildcats are just 1-12 when they give up at least 200 yards on the ground. The lone win going back was against Warren East in the playoffs in 2021. If ACS gets to that 200-yard mark, as they are well on pace for, Wildcats are going to have to scratch and claw and find a way to win this ball game. Deontay Granger had the one big pass play. That's been really the good part of this Franklin Simpson defense. Outside of the 43-yard catch for Granger, the 10-yard touchdown catch for Tyler Turner, the biggest for ACS, had a 6-yard touchdown catch for Holland as well, a 3-yard catch for Ross. So they've given them up around the goal line, but no real big plays in the passing game, but they've had chunk play after chunk play in the run game.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, the Wildcats right now, I mean, they're ready to take over the second half. Hopefully they got a lot of good motivation. You know, they got some great stats, but stats aside, I mean, I think a lot of this game comes to emotion. I mean, the emotion that we see on the sideline and, you know, not forgetting that first half and you know, what team is going to come out and punch the other one first.
For Franklin Simpson, Brady Delk 2 for 3 through the air, 58 yards. Did have an interception, but the 2 completions, both big ones. One to Colin Anderson for 33 yards, a beautiful double move over the shoulder catch down the sideline that if he didn't just step out of bounds, could have been a huge, huge gainer for the Cats. Lane Alford also with a catch for 25 yards, 26 yards of it was after the catch. Wildcats have had their way on the ground, although a lot of it came on that last drive of the half. 23 carries as a team for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, both from Lane Alford, who's got over 2/3 of that yardage on the ground. 10 carries, 107 yards for Lane. You said you felt like he could have a career game. He's already done it just after the first half of this one. Blake McPherson, 9 carries for 42 yards, only 2 carries for Colin for a net 1 yard. 1 carry for Kason Hemshoot for 2 yards. Brady Delk kept one for 6 yards in that first half as well. We've seen the trend be that in the second half of games, it shifts towards Blake McPherson. Do you think we see a bit more Lane in that balance in this second half of play, Tyler?
Well, I'd heard that after the end of the first half that, you know, right before that touchdown, Lane was barely walking. I mean, he's already gassed. And
that ankle is still not at 100%.
Yeah, he looks like he's got it wrapped up pretty well. And, you know, it's something that we're going to have to talk about. You know, I think Blake can carry the rock, but Yeah, Allen County Scottsville, one thing, I think they got maybe 2 guys. Morris goes both ways pretty much most of the game, is at tight end. Now, he comes out whenever Allen County goes 4 wide receivers, but so they really don't have a true guy that plays the whole game both ways. So, it's
Granger would be maybe the closest, and that's still, they don't love to use him out there all the time at DB. Did have that interception for the Patriots in the first half as Allen County Scottsville gets set to kick this ball off to start the second half of play. Tyler, what's your biggest key for the Wildcats to try and complete this comeback, trailing by 4 as we get the second half underway?
I think you got to make sure you don't try to get ahead of yourself. Have a good, long, sustained drive. Run a lot of clock off the game and use your whatever you can to your advantage. You don't want a game where you're getting in a gun and shooting, but you want to keep it simple.
McPherson cleanly fields the squib kick this time. Again, they're doing a good job, ACS, is of getting those downfield before Franklin can recover, and Blake had it about the 20, ran up to the 30, and Franklin Simpson will start their first drive of the second half there. That last drive, fantastic. 9 plays, they go 66 yards. They punch it in from 1 yard out with a Lane Alford touchdown. He really took over on that drive. We'll see if Franklin Simpson spells him a bit, although he's had the halftime break. Does ACS pinch in a bit more? They've had those 6 guys up around the line, Tyler, but as you've noted, sometimes they've gone smaller, and even still, a lot of times they've got some pretty big gaps. They've got those guys spread out up there.
Yeah, and they're moving guys around a lot. They're trying to be tricky, and they're not trying to stay in the same thing either.
Anderson goes into motion, was going to be a handoff on the sweep to start the second half, but a penalty before the snap called against Franklin Simpson, and that's the last play you want to, or the last way you want to start the second half.
Yeah, it looks like some type of illegal shift, maybe 2 guys going in the motion at the same time, or a guy not set. Nonetheless, they blow it dead, and Franklin Simpson's going the wrong way, starting out 1st and 15.
Ball now at the 25-yard line for a Wildcat offense that had 49 points against Warren Central last time out with 570 yards total. Just over 200 in the first half of this game. They go outside Anderson here anyways. Only picks up a few, pushed out of bounds on the right side.
And another thing to look at is this game, and I mentioned it a little bit in the first half, another thing to look at as this game goes in the second quarter, is it going to become chippy, or guys going to be able to keep their heads? I'm sure that's been a point of emphasis at halftime and during practice this week. Don't let them win the head game. I think if Franklin Simpson can keep their heads and make sure that they're just talking with their pads, they can have a solid second half.
Collin picked up 4 to make it 2nd and 11. Ball in the right hash this time. Delk keeping it after the fake to Alford. Slips up around the 30, but ACS had it well defended. Might have gotten to the 29. Either way, it's going to be a 3rd and long for the Cats, and that's something that you mentioned earlier, Tyler, not a strength for this offense early on this season.
Yeah, there's not many plays where they've converted it for 3rd and 9. We're meant to get about 4 yards each play, and when you got penalties, when you got holding, and you got a false start, it's just not a good situation for these Cats. But they do have plays where they can make it on 3rd and long.
And here Delk in the gun, 2 wide receivers out left side. Low snap, fields it well. He's rolling to his left, throws it across his body. Great jumping, extending catch on the far side by Kason Groves.
It looked like Allen County Scottsville, they didn't really care that it was 3rd and 9. They just had single-man coverage out there. It looked like you could have thrown the ball to Colin Anderson. He looked like he was going to run a corner route and then change it to a post, so a good double move. But Groves just able to get a nice out route, deep out route, and get the first down without much struggle.
14 yards up to the 45-yard line where he was pushed out of bounds. We've saw that, especially in the scrimmage from Brady, that rollout and the throw across his body. That time, great throw, great catch. And the Cats have a 1st and 10. They fake it up the middle. Anderson going around the outside. He is met by 3 defenders and slung down. And there was a little rub at the end of that on the helmet. I think that was Chris Duggar that had a little extra. Didn't get called for, but the ref let him know that he saw it after the fact. It goes for a 5-yard loss on 1st down.
Yeah, and that's not a good, but that just goes to, that's a film study play. I mean, you got that you're faking the ball up the middle, and you got Allen County Scottsville spreading guys out. You've said it. There's 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage. They're trying to stop the sweep play.
This time, Cats go play action on second down. It's set up wonderfully. The throw was a little behind, and it's dropped by Franklin. Had a ton of room to work with. Was almost set up like a tight end screen to Jamarius Franklin. Had so much room and so many blockers. Again, the throw was a tad behind. Had to turn around to try to grab it, but it goes off the hands and falls incomplete.
Yeah, you couldn't have drawn that up much better, and I don't think that play's been ran all year.
No.
Not very much in the past for Franklin. Mostly your tight ends are blockers for the most part. Jamarius can, he's got a little bit of
between
speed.
him and Killen, they've got some athletes out there at tight end this year. And
they do.
Unfortunately, that one drops, sets up another 3rd and long. This time they need 15, and again, Brady is in the gun. One wide receiver each way, drops back. He's looking to throw down the right sideline. Jump ball up for Perry. It's batted down and falls incomplete. Brody tried to come back to get it, had the hands on it, but couldn't quite hold on.
And look, I don't know if there's a flag, but the officials having words on the sideline. I don't know if he's giving a sideline warning, but maybe a warning for a warning. But nonetheless, I mean, Brody's got to fight back for that football. He's just a sophomore. I think Franklin Simpson is coming on to punt, but, yeah, it is a sideline warning. I don't see a flag. I see the flag now. Some of the players were blocking it.
The throw was a little behind. Brody tried to adjust. It was deflected, then hit his hands. And now a dangerous spot for an ACS team that had a punt return touchdown wiped off the board earlier. McAllister nearly took a knee going down to get the snap. Fortunately, the knee didn't hit the ground. The punt was a short one. Now it spins back. A friendly bounce for ACS. Initially was around the Allen County Scottsville 40, goes up to the 46-yard line. So they'll start with very favorable field position. But if you're Franklin Simpson, you're just happy that neither of those returners, Ross or Granger, got their hands on it.
Yeah, you're a little upset, though, that you didn't get a little bit more on that offensive drive. I think you had 2 pass plays that worked really well, but, just had drops, and you gave guys a chance, and, it's kind of unfortunate. So let's see where their heads are. I mean, are they going to just sit and pout, or are they going to try to make a defensive play and hopefully get a turnover again?
The pressure shifts now to the Franklin Simpson defense as Allen County Scottsville comes out in a shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Going into motion is Beavers. He's in the slot now on the right side. They go to Ross up the middle. He was grabbed around the legs. Jones couldn't hold on, and Ross is able to drive forward for a gain of 4 to midfield.
And that's a zone read blocking right there where you just try to push a guy wherever he's going to go. Aiden Jones was able to use his quickness to get in the backfield and grab the leg of Ross. He's not going to bring him down by his legs, but he's hoping some other guys will be flowing, but nobody else was in sight. So this Franklin Simpson defensive line, you got to have more guys to the ball.
And noticing Jackson Crafton came out limping a bit. He's now on the far side of the bench for Franklin Simpson. Key piece on that defensive line that does not go too particularly deep. Now on a 2nd and 6, again in the shotgun, they bring Beavers into the backfield. Still running out to his right. Keeping it himself, though, is the quarterback Adams going left. Wrapped up and dropped, but was able to push forward with the upper body and get past the first down marker. A flag is down where he went down. And I think they're going to call a face mask.
Face mask, not a hold. I think it could have been either one.
It is the face mask call. It was already enough for the first down, but we've seen a couple penalties now early on from Franklin Simpson, both avoidable.
And some of these defensive linemen, I mean, they're getting held, but it's not bad enough to call a penalty when you're not fighting off the block. You can't just sit there, and that's something I tell my guys all the time. You can't just sit there and take it. You got to fight off, and then you're going to get the penalties. If you just sit there and get held, they're not going to call it. So, it's in the head. I mean, these Franklin Simpson defenders, they got to keep fighting every play, no matter what happens.
Would have been down at the 43, instead march it up to the 28-yard line, and here comes the ACS offense once again up 18-14. 8:45 left in the quarter. Snap is over the head of the quarterback, Adams. He's able to bring it down eventually, makes something out of
guys
nothing.
downfield.
And then throws it, And like you're saying, if that's going to be a passing play, that's got to be a penalty for a legal man downfield. The entire offensive line was down the field.
I mean, that's the whole.
And now the flag comes in.
Okay.
It was a designed run, and on the surface, a heads-up play by Adams to avoid the loss by throwing it away. The problem was his entire offensive line was 3 or 4 yards down the field.
Yeah, and one thing that you can do is a quarterback can throw it outside of the pocket, kind of like they adopted the rule the NFL has where you can throw it away and, to save the quarterback a little bit more. That's only been in the high school game about 2 or 3 years. But when you have guys downfield ready to block or on a run
the call
play,
there is not an intentional grounding.
Oh, no.
But now they pick up the flag and wave it off. I don't know if they had put it, if originally it was thrown for intentional grounding, that's a good reason to call it off. It would be an ineligible man downfield call there because the entire offensive line was down there.
And Coach Cheney's wanting an explanation.
Well, he knows
like
offensive line play.
Oh, my goodness. That's a missed one.
Adams goes back under center, I formation. Ross is the deep back. The fullback is Holland. They go up the middle, and it's a good gainer. They pick up about half of the 10 that they needed, so it's going to be 3rd and medium here.
I think Franklin Simpson, their defensive line they're being aggressive, and linebackers are being aggressive and blitzing, but sometimes they're being over-aggressive and just running right by the guy. You got to stay under control as well.
3rd and 6, and worth keeping in mind here, Tyler, as we've seen with all the PATs, there are no field goals. So it's 4-down territory pretty much anywhere for these Patriots. 4 minutes into the quarter, up by 4. I formation again. They need 6 for the first down ball at the 24-yard line. Adams fakes it up the middle. He's going to try to keep it himself, and the Cats are all over it.
Great design blitz right there. Lane offered. I was just thinking, in there you got Zeke Eberhardt, who's coming in on some spot play on D-line, and you got Lane offered. You got Colin Anderson, the 3 seniors on defense right now. One of them needed to step up, and Lane steps up and makes the play, but it looks like the Patriots are going for it on 4th down.
They gained 4 on the previous play. They lost 4 there. 4th and 10. Ball on the left hash. Allen County, Scottsville at the Franklin Simpson 28-yard line. 7:24 left, 3rd quarter. They lead at 18-14. Split back formation. 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. Cats have the line stacked up. Are they showing blitz or do they bring it? They drop back in coverage here. Adams looking left side, overthrew his man. Had Beavers in space down the left side of the 15-yard line. Over.
Good play. Good.